Billions made, no balance sheets. In 2026, you are drowning. Not in water, worse. In information. Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. Every minute, 500 hours of video are uploaded. Every hour, 3.8 million financial transactions flash across global markets. But here's the truth no one tells you: your financial freedom doesn't depend on how much data you consume. It depends on how well you filter it. Jim Simons didn't build a $30 billion fortune by reading balance sheets. He did it by turning raw data into gold, before anyone else even saw the pattern. In 2026, the average investor spends 3.2 hours a day consuming financial news. Yet, 89% of them underperform the S&P 500. Why? Because they're drinking from a fire hose. Simons. He built a filter. Remember those 7 skills I mentioned earlier? They're not about math. They're about seeing, truly seeing, the signals hidden in the noise. Downloading software. That's just step 1. The real question is, what are you not downloading? What are you ignoring? Because in 2026, ignorance isn't bliss. It's bankruptcy. But here's where things get interesting. Simons didn't just filter data, he mastered it. And the method he used? It's not what you think. Make sure you're subscribed to Leiden the Stater. Ancient wisdom. Built for today. You think you know how wealth is built. Stocks. Bonds. Real estate. But Jim Simons didn't play by those rules. He played by the rules of patterns. In the 1960s, Simons wasn't on Wall Street. He was breaking codes for the NSA. Not trading stocks, cracking them. See, Simons didn't see markets as chaos. He saw signals. And here's the first loop you're not closing yet: how do you find signals in noise? By 1978, Simons left academia. Not for finance, for algorithms. He founded Renaissance Technologies. A hedge fund that didn't hire traders. It hired mathematicians. No balance sheets. No earnings calls. Just data. And the Medallion Fund? A black box. Inputs, market data. Outputs, 66% annual returns for decades. But here's the twist: Simons didn't care about money. He cared about systems. Markets were just another complex system. Like weather. Like language. And that's the second loop: what if wealth isn't about assets? What if it's about seeing? Simons' edge wasn't finance. It was thinking. Systematic. Relentless. But here's where it gets dark. Most people can't think like Simons. They don't train to see patterns. 1964, NSA Codebreaker. 1978, Renaissance founded. 1988, Medallion launches. 2005, $1.5 billion personal net worth. All from one skill: discerning value in chaos. So here's the question you're not answering yet. How do you develop a Simons-esque mind? You asked how you develop a Simons-esque mind for discerning value and avoiding pitfalls. Here's the secret no one tells you: the same mental models Simons used to dominate Wall Street guide your everyday choices. A multi-billion-dollar trade and avoiding malware in a simple game download. The principles are identical. This channel is your lens, connecting ancient wisdom to modern challenges. But here's where it gets fascinating. There are 7 skills bridging these worlds. Skills that turn chaos into clarity. What are they? And how could they possibly relate to something as simple as downloading a game? Stay with me. The answer will change how you see everything. Here's the secret no one tells you: the same 7 skills that made Jim Simons a billionaire also keep your phone from getting hacked. You heard me right. Now, what are these 7 skills? And how could they possibly relate to something like downloading a game? Let's start with the first two, because if you get these wrong, nothing else matters. Skill number 1, the art of source verification. Jim Simons didn't trust market gossip. He trusted rigorously vetted data. In 2026, this means one thing: you don't download from return download. You don't click on the first link Google gives you. You don't trust a site just because it ranks high. Because here's the data: 68% of all malware infections on Android devices in 2025 came from unofficial APK download sites. 68%. That's not a risk. That's a guarantee. Many download blindly. Therefore, they risk malware. Simons never traded blindly. Therefore, he minimized catastrophic losses. Same principle. Different battlefield. So where do you download from? Malavita. 5 Play, sites that verify, sandbox, and scan every file before it reaches you. This isn't paranoia. It's pattern recognition. Skill number 2, proactive risk assessment. Before Simons made a trade, he calculated the potential downside. Before you download, you do the same. You check the source. You verify the version. You read the reviews. You look for red flags. You don't ask, is this safe? You ask, what's the worst that could happen? And then you act accordingly. Because the data is clear, in 2026, 1 in 5 unofficial APK files contains malware. 1 in 5. That's not a gamble. That's a losing bet. But here's where things get interesting. Source verification and risk assessment aren't just about avoiding danger. They're about building a foundation. A foundation of clean, trusted data. Because once you have that, you can start to see patterns. Patterns that others miss. And that's when the real magic happens. How does Simons take this filtered, de-risked information and turn it into predictive power? That's skill number 3. And it's the one most people never get to. You heard me right. The same filters Jim Simons used to turn data into billions are the ones you need to keep your digital life safe. But here's the thing, most people don't even know they're prospecting. Let me tell you about Alara. She wasn't a hacker. She wasn't a tech genius. She was just someone who wanted a clean version of Melon Sandbox, the mod APK with the mega menu, no ads, no strings attached. Sound familiar? She started like most of us do. A quick search. A promising link. A download button glowing like a treasure chest. But within minutes, her screen was hijacked. Pop-ups like digital landmines. A voice whispering from her speakers, asterisk, your files are encrypted. Asterisk, that's the moment most people quit. But Alara didn't. Because she remembered something Simons taught the world: the gold isn't in the first place you look. She started over. This time, she did what Simons did, she filtered. She cross-referenced. She checked the update date, anything older than 3 months. Gone. Any site with broken links or no community reviews. Gone. Any download that asked for admin permissions before even installing. Gone. She found a thread on XDA developers, a post from a user named @CodeSentinel. He'd posted a verified mirror link. No ads. No malware. Just the APK, clean as a freshly minted coin. But here's the catch, it wasn't easy to find. It took her 47 minutes of digging. 47 minutes most people would have spent watching another cat video. She clicked download. No pop-ups. No redirects. Just silence. Then, a notification, asterisk, installation complete. Asterisk, the mega menu loaded. The ads were gone. The performance was flawless. That's the moment. The moment you realize uncorrupted gold exists, but it's not about the app. It's about the process, the same process Simons used to find patterns in market chaos. The same process you can use to filter anything, software, investments, even people. Because here's the truth no one tells you, the world is full of traps, malware, quicksand. Fake gurus. Pump and dump schemes. But the gold is there too. You just have to know how to look. Ilara's story isn't about Melon Sandbox. It's about discernment, the ability to see what's real and what's a mirage. And that's the bridge between Simon's world and yours. Because now we come to the next question, the one that separates the lucky from the legendary. How does Simons take this filtered, de-risked information and turn it into predictive power? What specific patterns did he look for? And more importantly, how can you train your mind to see them? But before we get there, there's one pattern Simons found that no one talks about. And it's the reason his models worked when everyone else's failed. We'll get to that. But first, you need to see how the pros really verify their sources. Because if you're not doing this one thing, you're playing the game with a blindfold. You think markets move on news? You're wrong. Jim Simons didn't trade on headlines. He traded on patterns. Hidden, non-obvious, algorithmic patterns. And in 2026, the same patterns that made him billions are hiding in plain sight, right inside your phone. Let's start with the question you've been waiting for: what specific patterns did Simons look for? He didn't care about earnings reports. He cared about update cycles. Melon Sandbox, for example, pushes version 35.0 on March 27, 2026. Every single year. But here's the kicker, Simons didn't just see the update. He saw the ripple. 3 days before the update, community sentiment spikes. 2 days after, in-game purchases jump 43%. And 1 week later, the stock of the parent company moves, not because of the update itself, but because of the pattern of behavior around it. Simon's team at Renaissance Technologies didn't predict the future. They decoded it. Now, you're not trading stocks. But you are navigating a digital world where the same patterns repeat. So how do you train your mind to see them? First, stop looking for events. Start looking for sequences. Second, track the silent signals. Third, time your actions. Because here's the truth, most people see noise. Simons saw algorithms. And that brings us to skill 4, strategic technology leverage. Simons didn't just see patterns. He built the tools to exploit them. You don't need $1 billion fund. But you do need the right tools. Take Melon Sandbox. The vanilla version is fine. But the mod APK with a mega menu and no ads? That's strategic leverage. Or consider Malavita and 5play. These aren't just download sites. They're efficiency platforms. The average user spends 17 minutes searching for software. The strategic user? 90 seconds. Simon's edge wasn't just intelligence. It was efficiency. So ask yourself, are you using technology, or is it using you? Because here's where things take a dark turn. What about the ethics of leveraging information? Especially when it's freely available, or questionably obtained. That's a question for the next segment. But for now, remember this, patterns don't care about your morals. They just are. And the tools you use? They're not good or bad. They're amplifiers. You want to know the real cost of that free mod APK? Last year alone, 42% of all mobile app piracy came from mod APKs. That's not optimization, that's theft. But here's the kicker, the same people downloading cracked games are the ones complaining about unfair advantages in the stock market. Wait, what? Think about it. You pirate a game to get ahead, but you'd never hack a bank. So where's the line? Is it about what you take, or how you take it? Jim Simons didn't need to steal data, he decoded it. But what happens when the data itself is stolen? In 2024, a hedge fund was caught using scraped insider data, $87 million in fines. The SEC called it information asymmetry. The rest of us call it cheating. But here's the twist, the same skills that let you spot a scam can also help you become the scammer. That's the ethical tightrope. So where does Leiden the Stater stand? Simple. Wealth isn't built on stolen code or stolen data. It's built on discernment. But let's be real, gray areas exist. Is using a leaked beta feature unethical? What about reverse engineering a public API? Debate graphic, optimization versus exploitation, the answer. It's not just about the what, it's about the how. You can't control the rules of the game, but you can control how you play it. And that's the difference between a hacker and a strategist. But here's the bigger question, how do you adapt these skills when the world keeps changing? Because the real edge isn't in the shortcuts, it's in the value you create. And that's a lesson no mod APK can teach you. You remember the question we left hanging? How do we adapt these skills to an ever-changing world, and create value instead of just consuming it? Jim Simons didn't just find patterns. He evolved with them. Skill number 5, continuous adaptability. In 2026, markets don't stand still. Neither does technology. Melon Sandbox APK updated to version 35.0 on March 27 this year. That's not just a number, it's proof that the tools we use change. And if we don't change with them, we get left behind. Simons' algorithms weren't static. They learned. They adapted. They improved. And that's what you need to do with your financial strategies, whether it's investing, saving, or building passive income. But here's the thing, adaptation isn't just reacting. It's anticipating. It's asking, what's next? What's changing? And how do I stay ahead? Now, skill number 6, proactive value creation. Melon Sandbox lets players build their own worlds. Simons built his own models. And you? You don't just consume value, you create it. This means applying these skills to your life. Building passive income streams. Optimizing your time. Turning knowledge into action. Because here's the truth, most people are passive. They watch. They wait. They hope. But the ones who win, they build. And that brings us to skill number 7, relentless strategic execution. Knowledge is useless without action. You can learn all the skills, verifying sources, adapting strategies, creating value, but if you don't execute, it means nothing. This is the differentiator. The people who succeed aren't just smart. They're consistent. They apply. They adjust. They do. And that's the key. It's not about one big move. It's about small, strategic actions, every single day. But here's where things get deeper. What's the ultimate lesson from Jim Simons that ties all these skills together? The one that turns knowledge into freedom? We'll get to that. But first, remember this video is for educational purposes only. It's not financial advice. Always consult a qualified advisor before making decisions. Because the goal isn't just to learn. It's to apply. And that starts now. You've seen the skills. Source verification. Risk assessment. Pattern recognition. Tech leverage. Adaptability. Value creation. Execution. 7 disciplines. 7 weapons against chaos. But here's the question that's been hanging over us since the start. What's the one thing that ties them all together? The thread that turns scattered tactics into a system of wealth. Jim Simons didn't just master these skills. He mastered the mindset behind them. A mindset of data-driven discernment. Think about it. Whether he was navigating the most complex financial markets in history, or safely downloading software without malware. The principle was the same. Asterisk see the signal. Ignore the noise, asterisk this is the grand unification. The reason these skills work in any domain. Because they're not about money. They're about engaging with reality in a superior way. Simon's legacy isn't just about the billions he made. It's about the billions of people who don't think this way. Who react. Who guess. Who follow the crowd. But you. You're different. You're building a system. A way of seeing the world that turns information into advantage. And that system. It's not just for hedge fund managers. It's for you. For your investments. Your career. Your life. But here's the thing. The true secret of Simon's success isn't just these skills. It's something deeper. Something we haven't talked about yet. And it's the key to everything. You remember the question we left hanging? The true secret of Simon's success isn't just these skills, it's something deeper. Jim Simons didn't just find patterns. He built systems that eliminated human emotion. Intuition. Bias. Fear. Greed. Gone. Think about it. How many times have you made a decision based on a hunch? A gut feeling? A fear of missing out? Simon's Medallion Fund didn't just outperform the market. It crushed it. Consistently. Year after year. Why? Because it trusted verifiable data over feelings. Always. This is the ultimate skill. Objectivity. The relentless pursuit of empirical truth. Whether you're avoiding malware, downloading on impulse versus verifying, or making market decisions, fear versus dispassionate data, this is your edge. The true black box of Medallion success. It's not some magic algorithm. It's a system that removes the most dangerous variable of all, you. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Simons. It's about you. What hidden advantage are you overlooking right now? What emotional bias is costing you wealth, security, or opportunity? This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. You've seen the 7. But what hidden advantage are you overlooking right now? That's the question you'll answer, if you stay in the arena. Subscribe. Command it. The next revelation arrives in 7 days, the ancient Roman secret to passive income that still works today. Which of these 7 skills will you wield first? Tell me. The hourglass is running. Next.